here, lots of Facebook Live.
Good evening, everybody, and thank you very much for joining us for this very, very important, if not historic. We are broadcasting this evening on YouTube and on our Twitter channel, so please do get sharing. We want as many people as possible to hear these really important results. We do also have BS interpreters on the call this evening to help you if you need those as well. So without any further ado, because I am sure everybody is itching to hear the results, I am going to hand over to Mary and Kevin.
Thanks, Louise, and welcome everybody. Thanks for taking the time to join us on the call this evening after a long day at school. Thank you for voting in the ballot. Thank you for talking to your colleagues about the reasons you voted, whichever way you voted in the ballot. We know you're here. We know that the press are on the call as well to find out what the results of our ballot on industrial action over a fully funded, inflation-proofed pay rises for teachers in England and Wales was, and for support staff in England and Wales as well. So, the results of the ballot. Teachers in England, an astonishing 121,253 members voted yes for strike action. 12,811 voted no. It was a majority over 90%, 90.44% voted for strike, with a threshold busting turnout of 53.27%. It's an amazing result. Teachers in Wales, even stronger, in a smaller constituency, but a majority over 92%, a turnout over 58%, again, busting through the government's thresholds. We regret to say, on support staff in England, although 15,405 voted yes to strike and only 2,900 voted no, a very big majority of 84%, but because of the government's unfair, undemocratic thresholds, the turnout in that was 46%, and that's not enough for us to call legal strike action. However, support staff in Wales, again, beat the thresholds with a turnout of 51.3%, a majority of 88.26%. These ballot results are amazing. The England teacher ballot result alone is the biggest ballot result of any union in recent times, certainly since this democratic threshold was introduced in 2016. We have come with our England and Wales ballot together, spanning 23,400 schools. Our teacher members in England and Wales, our support staff members in Wales have voted in enough numbers to beat both of the government's thresholds for industrial action that have been imposed on teachers and other essential public services. Over half of all teacher members of the union voted by post when there was significant disruption to the postal service. The government needs to listen. These are big votes for strike action.
They really are. 90% of our members voted yes, and that shows the government something really important. It shows the government that the NEU members will not stand by and see the education service they work so hard for and they care for so much be sacrificed because teachers and support staff are being driven from the profession they love because of a toxic mix of low pay and excessive workload. Neither should the support staff figures in England give the government any cheer. The hard facts cannot be ignored. Children are losing out because there aren't enough teachers and support staff. Parents and grandparents hear their children and grandchildren talking about new teachers in the middle of the school year, of their favourite teachers leaving, of teachers not being available in the subject that they are learning. Parents of children with special educational needs know that the support staff their children rely on to access learning are leaving schools to work in supermarkets because they can be paid more there. Public servants are suffering the longest period of pay suppression since the Napoleonic Wars. A teacher who started work in 2010 and made normal progress up the pay scale has lost over £64,000 in cash terms. Support staff have lost 27% of their pay in real terms since 2010. And that's why teacher recruitment is in crisis, with a 23% fall in applications this year. That's why teacher retention is in crisis, with 40% of teachers leaving within 10 years of qualification, with 1 in 8 leaving within 2 years of qualification. That's why secondary class sizes are now the highest that they have ever been. It's why primary class sizes are the highest they've been since 2000. And these are not my words. These are the words of Amanda Spielman, who I don't normally quote with approval. Amanda Spielman, the Chief Inspector of Ofsted, has written in her latest Ofsted annual report, published November 2022, that there's a workforce crisis in our schools. The school leaders report that recruiting and retaining teachers and support staff is their biggest challenge in work, and that children and young people are bearing the brunt of that crisis without access to the teachers and support they need in order to get the education they are entitled to.
So we've got some shout outs. Thanks everybody for popping some messages on there. One from Jenny Cooper, who says a massive well done to all of our reps, and I would absolutely second that as well. Message from Julie saying great news, thanks to everybody. Also brilliant news from Dion, and Tim says excellent news, all school workers work and deserve a decent, properly funded pay rise. Michaela is saying excellent result, absolutely agree. Very good result, but very hard work from everybody who's been involved in it. And Dale, as a trainee teacher, I am with everyone who is going on strike. The Tories are destroying everything. And then just one final shout out as well, which I think I absolutely fully agree with. Fantastic results and proud to be part of NEU.
You know, Mary's just given you a quote from Amanda Spielman. But just in the last week, we have seen studies from the Institute of Fiscal Studies. Mary was at an event today with the National Fund for Education Research, all confirming the arguments that we're making about why there is a shortage of teachers. All of them saying there is going to have to be a correction on teacher pay. But we know it's the reality, the daily stress of working in an underfunded school with exhausted staff receiving poor pay, which has led NEU members to vote yes for strike action. We know that you haven't taken this decision lightly. You want to be in your classrooms teaching and supporting children and young people. The decision to strike for all of us is a last resort. So we do intend to make this work. Our aim, our intention is to change the government's approach, not just by strike action, but by the other actions we will put alongside it. We intend, however, to act decisively to get a long-term correction in teacher and support staff pay. We have to say we think that it's not enough just to identify one day of strike action at the moment. We have to make it clear to government that we are all determined that they will make a change. And so the Executive Committee of the NEU, of the National Education Union, has authorised a pattern of 7 days of strike action to be taken between now and the mid-March, with any one school being affected by action. So it will be a mixture of national and regional strike days, and we are writing to all employers today to outline those dates. We're writing to the Secretary of State to outline those dates and to say that we don't want to take them, that we want talks. But the days we're identifying are these. Wednesday, the 1st of February, will be a day of national strike action, with us calling on all our teacher members in England and Wales and our support staff members in Wales to take strike action. Then we're going to go into a bit of a regional pattern. So on Valentine's Day, the 14th of February, we're going to call a national strike in Wales with a demonstration in Cardiff to the Senedd, to the Wales government. Then a series of regional strikes after half term. So on Tuesday, the 28th of February, we are going to call on all schools for industrial action in the northern, the northwest and the Yorkshire and Humber regions. We'll be writing to you to explain which schools those are. The next day, on Wednesday the 1st of March, we are calling for strike action in all schools in the West Midlands, the East Midlands and the Eastern region. And the day after that, Thursday the 2nd of March, we're calling on schools to take strike action in the South West, the South East and London. If we need it, if the government hasn't given way by then, we are calling a 2-day strike on Wednesday the 15th of March, which is Budget Day, and the following day, Thursday the 15th of March. Of course, we really do hope that we don't have to take any of these proposed days of strike action. We hope the government will see the strength of your intent. Those 120,000 teachers who voted in England and 10,000 more in Wales, and come to the negotiating table in both those countries. Ministers have known that we've been balloting for a long time. We carried out a preliminary ballot in September and October. We started our formal ballot in the second half of last term. They know that we've been doing this. They've had opportunities to talk, but we have to tell you, they've only started doing any talking since we reached this last stage where we thought we were going to pass the thresholds. They've had time and opportunity to meet with us, but so far they haven't really taken advantage of that. We need your support to get them to sit down and talk with us.
Our next meeting with the Secretary of State for Education and her officials is on Wednesday. And the difference we have from the last time we met her, which is the first time we met her on the 9th of January, and when we go in on Wednesday, is we will have the strength of this ballot behind us. They know that we mean business. They know that you are prepared to take action to protect your jobs, to protect your pay and costs, and to protect your ability to remain in the profession. And that will give us strength in the negotiations when they begin with the Secretary of State and with the Department for Education. Now, support staff in England did not meet the threshold to take action. It's very unfortunate, but this is absolutely no disgrace. The thresholds are set deliberately high, and so it is difficult, very difficult to reach them. And more than 18,000 support staff members voted to take action, and we will not forget you. We are going to continue to take every opportunity to fight for proper pay for support staff. We will continue to raise your case with government. In Wales, support staff will be taking action alongside teacher colleagues, and this will highlight the poor pay of support staff in Wales and in England too. We had a first meeting with the Secretary of State for Education and other education union leaders last Monday. We met departmental officials at the Department for Education last Friday. We have to tell you, at present, we are told there is no new money on the table, but we will continue to seek to negotiate anytime, any place, anywhere. We want to find a resolution to this dispute, but that resolution has to be on the basis of new money to pay teachers and support staff what they are worth. And whilst we seek to negotiate, we will be campaigning to bring parents and other stakeholders with us. Our action is absolutely not designed to hurt them or to disadvantage our pupils and our young people. Rather, it is a stand we must take now if things are not to deteriorate further. Here we must stand. We can do no other. So we will be asking you, our members, to write to your MP, to educate them about just how difficult it is to work with in schools now, as well as asking you to take strike action. We will be producing materials for parents, telling them what they already know, that there are not enough teachers and support staff to give their children, the education they deserve. Children only get one chance at school. We cannot stand by and see that chance being denied them. We will be organising picket lines outside schools and local rallies in each town and city for you to get together on strike days and show the government that you really mean business. We will be asking you to lobby your local MP to go to their MP surgeries and to make the case, to make the strong case for a proper inflation-proof pay rise for teachers and support staff. and we will give you the key facts and arguments to help you make your case really well. We hope that the dispute will be resolved by then, but if it's not, we are going to use strike day on the budget on the 15th to have a national rally at Westminster so that the politicians in the Houses of Parliament can see us and can hear us and know that they cannot ignore us. And I tell you, all our members on the call tonight, if we act together and we stay together, we are strong.
And members in Wales, on the 15th of March, there'll be a demonstration in Westminster addressing the Westminster government and a demonstration in Cardiff addressing the Wales government. We will be meeting David Evans, the Wales Regional Secretary, and myself and Mary will be meeting with Welsh ministers in the coming week. I want to say to all the reps on this call, support staff reps, teacher reps in England and Wales, there are regional reps conferences planned for this Saturday, the 21st of January. Please sign up to go to those. If you're a member of a school where there isn't a rep, volunteer to be the rep and come to those reps conferences. There are forms being put in the chat now where you can use those to sign up to those conferences. We will use those to support you through all the actions we want you to take up to that first day of strike action on February the 1st, and if we need to, the action after that. To all the branch officers on the call, we want to thank you as we've thanked our workplace reps, and to say to you, we know that you will be working with your executive members, your regional secretaries, with the Wales Secretary to prepare, to organise the demonstrations we'll have on the day that will bring parental support alongside teachers and support staff on those demonstrations to start this campaign in the way we mean it to go on. This ballot result is not the end. It's the beginning of a campaign that is going to make the government change its mind. We believe the government knows there needs to be a correction on teacher pay. They've heard the examples that we've been making of GCSE chemistry classes without chemistry qualified teachers, of 1 in 8 maths classes without maths teachers, of them missing their targets for recruitment year after year, missing the targets for primary teacher recruitment. We know the government's heard that. They know there needs to be a correction. The only question is how much pain and suffering is there going to be for our children because there aren't enough teachers before the government does it. You stood up to be counted when you voted. Now we must all stand up again to take the action that we need to fight for a better education system. We don't want to take the strike action. We want the government to listen. But if the government doesn't listen, then we are at that last resort. We need to take the action together to show them we're strong. They are starting to think about a settlement in the NHS. They're starting to think about a settlement in the railways. Our action, all of us standing together, can hasten those things and bring a settlement in education. Thank you for everything you've done so far. You've stood up to be counted. We're going to stop here and go to some questions and do our best to answer questions that you're asking in the chat. Thank you very much for being here.
Thank you. Yes, we have had an awful lot of questions come in, so we're going to try and answer just a few of them over this evening. We have only got a few minutes left on the call. So the first question we've got coming this evening is, what should I do on a strike day? And I know it's something that members have been asking me as well.
So should I take that one?
Yes,
this
please,
one. Thank you.
Thank you.
So what should I do on strike day? What that you can do on strike day? You can take part in NEU organised activities on us, including your picket line at your workplace, demonstration that, as we said, take place in your town or your city. The more that we can join together on that day, the more that we can gain strength from each other, the more that we can be visible, then the more successful the strike is likely to be. So make sure that you make every effort to join in these NEU organised events and activities on strike day. Information will be distributed locally by your local branch and district officers, but also information will be at the union website, which is www.nu.org.uk. neu.org.uk. So find out about those local and national activities. The reps in your school will be told about them. They'll be on your local branch websites, and do take part so that we can really, if we have to strike action on the 1st of February, if the government isn't negotiating, then we're really visible. And also on the picket line, so that we can, if the school isn't completely closed, we can educate parents and about what's happening and why. Although many schools, we believe, will be closed entirely.
Thanks very much, Mary. So the next question we've got coming is, do I have to tell my head teacher or principal whether I personally intend to take industrial action? Do you want to have a go at that one, Kevin?
Yeah, thank you very much, Louise. So the law is very clear on this. We will write to employers telling them that we're calling action, telling them how many members we have at the different workplaces, and individual members don't have to do any more than that. Individual members do not have to tell their head teacher whether they're striking or not. The head teacher then has to make the decision based on how many members there are at the school about what action, whether they close the school or however else the head teacher intends to deal with it. But just to be absolutely clear, no matter what your head teacher tells you, you do not have to tell them whether you're taking strike action or not. The union has done everything that is required of it in order to have legal action on the day.
Thank you, Kevin. Do we have a next question in? Thank you. There are non-members at my school who want to know if they can take part in the industrial action. Where do they stand if they're non-members?
Well, any new eligible teacher members, anybody who joins the NEU between today and the first day of strike action, they can join in strike action with the same as all the NEU members who have the opportunity to vote, provided they join the NEU before the strike action commences. And all the information about joining the NEU is on the website. We've also had questions from NEU members who didn't vote in the ballot, maybe because they joined very recently, but it doesn't matter whether or not you voted. If you're a teacher member or a leader member in a state-funded school in England, or a teacher or leader member and support staff member in a state-funded school in Wales, you can take strike action.
Just say that the law requires us to ballot all the members who are in good standing at the time we conduct the ballot. So we've done that, but then the law also allows us to call out everybody in that area of work afterwards. So like Mary said, people can join the union at any time up to the strike date, and they are covered by the strike call with all the same legal protections as people that we've balloted.
Thank you. So the question we've got in from somebody on the call is, and I've heard them speaking to, will I get paid if I take strike action?
Do you know, when we have strike action at school levels, sometimes we have strike pay. We can't do that on a national strike. There's nothing like enough money in the union's budgets to do that. So you should expect to have your pay deducted. Now, the pay deduction is at 1 divided by 365 of your annual salary. It might not be as much as you think it would be. So you should expect to lose some money. For the poorest teachers, in the most difficult circumstances, that could be difficult, but our branches will be setting up hardship funds that can help those people. But I think it's really important to say the whole point of taking the action is to try and get an increase in your pay, and an increase in your pay that's fully funded, so it doesn't lead to job losses in your school. And I was remembering back today we took 2 days of strike action over pensions in 2011. And I know a lot of people on the call weren't teaching in 2011, have never been on strike, but we took 2 days of strike action in 2011 over pensions. We got a concession from the government. We didn't get everything we wanted by any means, but we got a change in our direction from the government. And the benefit of that will give those people who went on strike more money in every year of their retirement than they lost on those 2 days of strike action in 2011. So we are investing in the strike action. You do lose money on the strike, but we're doing it in order to get an increase in your pay. So it's a very good investment.
Thanks, Kevin. And those hardship funds may be really important for some members, and it is about us all, standing together and working together as well. So the next question I've got coming is, my head teacher has asked me to prepare work to be delivered by other staff on any strike day. What should I do?
Well, the head teacher should not be asking you to prepare work, because you are going to lose a day's pay because you're taking industrial action. That means industrial action means withdrawal of your labour. So, any head teacher who is asking for work to be prepared on the day that you are taking strike action, that is an completely inappropriate request. So you should refuse to do that. Strike action, by definition, means a withdrawal of your labour, and this withdrawal relates to all aspects of your work. So any of the work that you would have done on the strike day, you should not be doing. So you can safely refuse to set cover work for your pupils to be delivered by any other staff on the strike day. They should not be breaking your strike action. And this also absolutely includes work delivered online. You should not be setting up online lessons for delivery on the strike day. That breaks the whole point and the whole purpose of the exercise, which is to demonstrate the worth of your labour by withdrawing it.
And I guess it should be obvious that also means you don't mark any work.
Yeah.
If your class was covered by somebody on a strike day, if your school didn't close, you don't mark any work from. But can I just also add, though, that we think most heads won't ask people to do this. Our friends in the NAHT, they are involved in the same dispute as us. They've got the same concerns, and they will be advising their members not to ask teachers to prepare online lessons. I'm confident of that. And
our friends in ASCL are considering balloting for industrial action themselves. So the NAHT and ASCL are with us in spirit, and they will be advising their members to treat NEU members who are taking action properly in this dispute.
Thank you. So I think we've just got time for one more question that's come in. So this final question is, what impact will strike action have on action?
Yeah, this is a question we always get in the run-up to strikes. And it makes very little impact on your final pension that you get. I mean, I think of it like this: if you've worked 20 years, and then it's a question of whether you retire on August the 30th or August the 31st, that really makes very little difference. Calculations that we do say that the loss might be between £1 and £2.50 a year from your pension for each day of action that you take. Now, if we win anything like a pay rise, that more than covers that by 10, 100 times, far more than that. All serving teachers are now building up pensions in the career average scheme. Your pension is 1/57th of whatever you earn during each scheme year. The scheme year runs from April to the 1st of April to the 31st of March, which is then indexed till your retirement. So you simply lose the pension you'd have built up for each day, and like I say, that works out to between £1 and £2.50 a year. So, for example, if your pensionable salary is £36,000, each day of strike action would reduce your pension by £1.73 a year. That's the amount of loss. So we're intending to win pay rises that are fully funded in order to protect education, and that the effect on your pension is negligible in that regard.
Thank you very much, both. So it's just for me to finish by wrapping up. Just to let you know that you will be receiving an email. If you've missed any of that really important information, it will be coming out in an email to you. If you are a rep or an officer, please make sure you can get along to our local reps briefing on the 21st of January. And I will just finish by saying we are going to win this. We have parents with us, we have head teachers with us, and we are really strong when we work together. Thank you.